Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome to your Premier Division show. We're going to look back at the games on Friday and one game on Saturday and discuss a few things about one or two of the sides as well. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, that'd be fantastic. Check out the most recent vlog, which was the matchday vlog as Shamrock Rovers beat Bohemians. We'll talk about that one very soon. First up though, it's Drogheda United won, Derry City won at Sullivan and Lamb Park. We're going to speak about that one. And of course, if Drogheda won this and if Shamrock Rovers won their game, Shamrock Rovers would have been officially champions. Didn't quite happen that way, although Drogheda United take the lead on 39 minutes thanks to Kareem. Following on from his goal against Shelbourne the other week in a win. He picks up another one here and it's a good strike. Danny Mullen equalises in 54. And overall, I think a draw was a fair result. Mark Connolly makes a brilliant clearance off the line from Warren Davis as well. But overall, I think both teams had their opportunities at certain points of the game. And both teams will feel they could have won it. So overall, the draw is a fair result. From Drogheda's point of view, I think it's been a successful week pretty much. Picking up 3 points at home to Shells and then a draw at home to Derry. The 4 out of 6 is good. But they're fourth in the league. They're a point ahead of St Patrick's Athletic and a point ahead of Shelbourne. Now, Shelbourne do have a game in hand, which is Shamrock Rovers away. Now, Shamrock Rovers could be champions by the time that match is played, so that could change the dynamic there. Or they could be champions in that particular game if they pick up a point. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But Drogheda United do have a favourable run in terms of fixtures. They play Cork City, Galway United, Waterford and Bohs. Now they're only 3 points off Bohs and 4 points off Derry City as well. So they're still in with a chance of finishing in that top 3. But let's say it just gets to the last day of the season. Just hypothetically say that Bohs have already finished in the top 3. And Drogheda have an opportunity now to, they're in the driving seat, let's say, to get the 4th place even. That could work out in their favour too. They've beaten Bohs the last 4 times they played each other, including obviously 3 times this season. But there's a lot of factors and ifs and buts and stuff like that. But definitely compared to say Pats and Shells, let's say the teams behind them, they definitely have the better run in. And quite frankly, to be honest with you, I don't think, and we'll talk about them later as well, but I don't think Pats or Shelbourne deserve to finish the top 4. I think Drogheda do. But they still have to do it. Sometimes you don't get what you deserve. But I would genuinely say that Drogheda United deserve to finish in the top 4. The other 2 I don't think do, to be honest with you. As for Derry City, there's talk about problems in the camp, etc., etc. Coming into the game, rows between Tiernan Lynch and a number of high-profile players, including Michael Duffy and Mark Connolly, as an example. Rubbished by Michael Duffy at the end of the whistle in the Drogheda game. There's a couple of things here. I don't think they're playing like a team that's, say, against the manager, if I'm honest with you. I don't think they are. I think they've showed good guts and character in the last number of weeks as well, which totally, in my opinion, dispels that. Now, if it happened recently, in which apparently it did before the Drogheda game, if some of these players apparently were told to get lost, allegedly, by Tiernan Lynch, why would they start in this game? Most of those players started in this game. I don't know. I just think if somebody at Derry City within the club, is leaking information, first of all, it's not good if it's true. But if it's not true, it's pathetic, and it's not fair on any club. It's not fair on the management, the players, or the club in general. Who would be actually trying to do that if that was the case? Who would be trying to take them down within the club? Doesn't make sense to me. And even if true, let's say, if you're a Derry City fan, let's say, why would you want that leaked? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments if you're a Derry City fan, or if you're a Drogheda United fan. Let me know what you think about your chances of getting into Europe onto the next game. Now, the next game was a massive win for Galway United. Galway United now, it finished Galway United 2, Cork City 1, first of all, at Eamon DC Park. Galway United on 34 points, level with Waterford FC, but now ahead of them on goal difference in the table. And the goal difference is actually massive. They're 12 goals ahead in goal difference. Cork City, 11 points adrift with 4 games to go. You know, I can't see them doing it, can you? I mean, let's be honest, they can only get 12 points, even if they got 12 points, which they won't, let's be real here. I don't think that's going to keep them up. So, unfortunately for Cork, you know, even if they won this game, I would have questioned whether they'd come back into it. It would have been more of a problem for Galway, if you know what I mean, more than anything. But it was a massive win for Galway United. Stephen Walsh with 2 goals, 1 in 18, 1 in 45. In between that, Alex Nolan scores an absolute cracker for Cork City, to be fair, doesn't he? But Stephen Walsh, what a player. Galway man is now joint. He's the most appearances for Galway United. He's level in that list now. He's 368 appearances, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just checked before I came on as well, but I forgot to write it down. I think it's 368 appearances, but he's going to be the record, isn't he, appearances at Galway United, and I think it's always a great honour to do that for any player at any club. Doesn't matter what club they play for. It's a nice thing to say and hold on to, and there's a good chance he holds on to it for a long time because he's going to beat it, as I say. He's going to reach over 400 appearances for Galway United, that's for sure, and to do it and score 2 goals in a big win, a vital win for Galway United. And I don't mean necessarily because they beat Cork City, who are bottom. It's just a vital win anyway. You know, we'll get on to Waterford in a minute and what's happened there, their club. But it gets them out of the relegation zone for this minute in time, or the playoff zone, I should say, really. And I know there's people saying that whoever finishes 9th will stay up. You just don't know. It's a one-off game. Kerry FC beat Sligo Rovers in a one-off game, and they're in form. So, you know, you just don't know in a one-off game. But Sligo or Galway United and Sligo Rovers as well, we'll talk about them in a while, but they're in a good position, let's say, at this minute in time. But Galway United, Sligo Rovers and Waterford FC, you know, will all be doing their best to try and get out of that playoff and avoid it if they can. As for Cork City, look, it's a bit yo-yo-y the last few years. I'm not really sure what they can do to change the dynamic of that. I think I said at the start of the year, I said, depend how well Maguire and Rory Keaton do or not do, might depend how well Cork City do. And it hasn't really worked. Keaton obviously got an injury very early in the season, and it knocked him out for the season, didn't it? That was him gone for the season. And Maguire, he hasn't done enough. He has not done, well, he clearly hasn't done enough. I expected more, if I'm honest, from Maguire. I know he's had injuries, I get that. But he's played a lot of games as well. I did expect more for Shiny Maguire. And when that wasn't going to work, those two things weren't going to work, they were always going to be in big trouble, and that's transpired to be. Never felt they were good enough defensively, to be honest with you. Their goalkeeper, Bran, has done well in recent weeks, but it's too little too late, really. They do have an FAI Cup semi-final to look forward to, and potential final. So that's still a carrot at Turner's Cross next Friday. And I'm sure the Cork City fans will be boisterous and get out for that one. But let me know if you're a Cork City fan. You're obviously disappointed. But what can you change? What can the club change exactly to try and stop that yo-yo effect? Because I'd imagine they're going to be big favourites to come back up as champions again. You know, it's a difficult one. As for Galway United, a bit of work to do. Massive win. Let me know what you think in the comments below. At the Shamrock Rovers and Bohs, the big Dublin derby, and it was a massive Dublin derby, wasn't it? I was at this game, I vlogged it, so keep an eye on that vlog. I thought it was an excellent game of football. I really enjoyed it. It was a really good game of football. The Rovers played well. Bohs played well at times as well. And it was a big win for Shamrock Rovers. Nearly win the title. They only need one draw out of the last 5 now to win the title, although they may win it by not even playing if Derry City fail to beat Sligo Rovers at the Brandywell in the meantime. But 2-1, Burke on 12, Mandrea on 52, Clark in the middle of that on 40 for Bohs. And Rovers started each half brilliantly and managed to get 2 goals, take advantage in each of the halves. Bohs came back into it in both halves later on, and we'll get into that in a minute. But Graham Burke's goal after 12 minutes is a fantastic goal, I think. I'll talk about Bohs midfield in a minute though. Because he gets in behind, makes a mistake. There's still a lot to do. He gets in behind and, Burke has a lot of space and fires it into the net. Mandrew 52, it's a brilliant goal. I'll get into Bohs in a minute. I'll stick on Rovers here for now. Mandrea, brilliant goal. Honahan driving into the box. Lovely little flick back. No look flick back. He's fully aware what Mandrea is. puts on a plate, but it's still a brilliant finish with his left foot. And that put them 2-1 up. James Clark had equalised in 40 minutes after Bohs got down the left-hand side, not for the first time in the half, and Rooney plays a delicious cross into the box. Clark comes onto it, it's a lovely header to make it 1-1. And a couple of things, I'll say first of all, in the first half in particular, but also in the second half we'll get into it, I think the right-hand side was a big problem for Rovers. I think Danny Grant was okay going forward. Defensively, I thought he was a weakness on the day. He struggled, and Cleary to the right of him, who picked up a booking as well. Grant picked up a booking also, by the way. Cleary struggled. So the whole right-hand side defensively was a struggle for Rovers, and Bohs, I think, cotton on to that and looked to take advantage. They did with the goal, and they had other opportunities where they got crossed into the box and Rooney came down the left, and they were causing a lot of problems to Bohs there. A lot of problems to Bohs there, actually. But Shamrock Rovers were causing a lot of problems when they were on top, particularly in the first half of the first half and the first half of the second half. Mandre and Burke were getting in behind Bohs midfield far too easily, way too easily for me. And I think the problem was, first of all, I think it was an issue that didn't start Adam McDonald for me. Adam McDonald gives you legs, can cut out danger, gives you legs in midfield, and can be defensive when he needs to be as well. I think the combination of Tierney, Clark and Devoy didn't really work from a defensive point of view for Bohs, to be honest with you. And when Rovers were on top, they really took advantage of that. And the amount of times Burke was a playground for Burke getting in behind the midfield, Mandrow getting in behind the midfield and running into space. And then the defenders have a problem, don't they? There was a lot of that. And I don't think Reynolds got that right. I think he needed someone like a McDonald in midfield as well. All great, very good individual players, but just didn't work. And Devoy was left exposed actually to that a lot of the time. Devoy, who likes to set the play and get the tempo going for Bohs, but he was left exposed. He'd Burke coming off one side of him at times and Mandre off the other side of him at times. And I'm kind of going, where's Clark and Tierney in this? Because Clark and Tierney like to play almost as number 10, so they weren't really coming back to help. Different types of 10s, but they weren't coming back to help much in those situations for Bohs, and Devoy was getting exposed. He also picked up a yellow. And I don't think that worked from a defensive capacity for Bohs. Later on in the second half, though, Bohs came into it again, and a couple of penalty shouts as well. They could have got an equaliser, to be fair. I thought Rovers were slightly a better team, but they could have got an equaliser, Bohs, and you wouldn't have said, if they got the equaliser, you wouldn't have said they probably wouldn't have deserved it, to be honest. But James Taylor's one, I don't think it's a penalty, because if you look at it carefully, I think he knows what he's doing, to be fair. He's looked for the Shamrock Rovers. I think it was a Cleary, I can't remember anyway. He looked for the Shamrock Rovers leg, and he's basically played it. He's actually, he's made the contact. The contact is made, but he's made the contact. If he wins a penalty there and the referee gives a penalty, you say, that's clever, to be honest with you. However, could he have got in, though? That's what I was thinking to myself. If he wasn't, looking at that, could he have got in and goal? Maybe he thought he couldn't get in and goal. And to be honest with you, it's worth to go. But he catches the Shamrock Rovers player's foot, for me, deliberately. And there wasn't an awful lot of complaints, to be honest, after that. The Parsons one, I haven't seen, which is annoying. I've looked and I've asked a lot of Bohs fans, is there a little video going around or anything like that? I did not see it. At the ground, I seen it, but I didn't see it properly. Same with the Taylor one, but I did see a good clip of that. But a lot of Bohs fans are saying that was more of a penalty than the Taylor one. So if that's the case, yes, Bohs are very unlucky there. Believe Cleary might have taken them down. And again, Parsons, that right-hand side, again, was a big problem in the second half for Rovers. And Bohs really tried to take advantage of that. And when Parsons got on, he could get on 1-on-1, particularly with Grant. And I think they were causing problems. But to be honest with you, it was a really, really good game. And looking at it, although Bohs would be disappointed to lose it, I'm looking at it and looking at the other teams and I'm going, they should be finishing in the top three. I think they're good enough. I know they haven't been in great form, but I do think they're good enough to finish in the top three. Not that they're good enough to finish in the top three as such. I think they're better than the other teams that aren't in the top three, to be honest. So I think they should be okay despite this defeat. Rovers would be delighted. A little bit of them be thinking, pity we didn't win the league on the night. But they'd be delighted. They're very close now. And it was a very good game of football. I really enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Talca Park has finished Shelbourne 2. Waterford FC 1, a massive, massive win for Shelbourne. I just want to talk about Waterford for a minute because obviously John Coleman has left the club. it wasn't said he was sacked, but I do believe he was sacked. And, you know, a couple of things here. Matt Lawler's come in. I'll say that first. He'll coach the side for the remainder of the season. And he spent 7 months with the Blues as an assistant head coach in 2024 before rejoining the Blues in April of this year on an interim basis, if you remember. And he did guide them to wins over Bohs and Shells, but away from home, I think, as well, and a win at home to Derry. So, look, you've seen why they've done it. They're hoping for a bit of a bounce in the last 4 games as well. And a Waterford fan pointed this out to me, and they're dead right, to be fair. In fairness, a couple of years ago, do you remember they got into the playoff and let go of their manager that week? So you could argue they've done that before they get into that situation. Like, you don't want to be in that situation, I don't think, and then sack your manager before a playoff. It's not good, and it didn't help them because they lost the UCD. Mark Bertram, of course, but Matt Lawler for 4 games, and the fact, I suppose they're not bringing in anyone willy-nilly either for the 4 games. They're bringing in someone that knows the players and good reputation as a coach, has picked up some good results, and they'll feel if they can even get half of the impact in the last 4 games that they got from the previous spell he had as interim, that might be enough, to be honest with you, and they're right. So I can understand it. I do think they've obviously, Keith Long left this season and John Coleman's left. I do think recruitment has been an issue for Waterford this season. I think they haven't read the room a little bit. They've misjudged maybe the quality in the league, in my opinion, I think. And I don't think recruitment has been good enough at Waterford this season. If you're a Blues fan, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree or not with that? But interesting times ahead for the Blues. And in this game, they could have nicked the point late on. Shells would be delighted with the win because it puts them back in the European picture. Massive win ahead of European game against Hacken this week, which I'll be at I was going to say Talcott Park, Tallaght Stadium for that. Coote scores a 7, a good goal, and it chances to make it 2, etc. Noonan equalises on 42 though for Waterford, and they deserved it. But then Shells, the second half chances, number of chances to go 2-1 up. Eventually get a penalty in 79 through Harry Wood, who's on penalties now clearly. But Waterford will be disappointed with the penalty to give away. Wood plays the ball in. It's Paddy Barrett turns his man. Now it's from a free kick, so there's still a lot of players in the box, and there's no guarantee. It's far from a guarantee that if Barrett pulls the trigger, the ball goes to the back of the net. So it's poor from the defender to take him down that situation, to be honest. You know, Barrett could be balloon that over the bar for all he knows, but there's a lot of players back and a lot of Shells players there as well. You know, so, you know, it's not as if he had a free shot at goal. So it's a poor penalty for Waterford to give away, and it gives Shells the impetus. But then Shells are clinging on in the last moments of the game. Amond has chances. There's a number of chances for Waterford, and they did cling on, Shells. There was the kitchen sink was thrown at the Talcott Park outfit, really there, and Waterford could have nicked the point, but it's a big win for Shelbourne, especially going into the Hacking game. I think puts them back in a situation where qualify for Europe. So and Joey O'Brien will be delighted with that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that game now on Thursday, I have to say. Big game against Hacking at Tallaght Stadium, and it'll be Shelbourne's first game in the knockout phase of European football. If you're a Shells fan, let me know how you're feeling ahead of that game, and can you nick the top 4 or top 3? Top 3 might be a bit difficult. Top 4 certainly, and again it depends. Are Shamrock Rovers going to be champions by the time they play Shells or not? That's a big one for me in that regard. As for Waterford, I talked about them a second ago. Let me know if you're a Waterford fan what you think about the remaining 4 games. Are you happy with Matt Lawler coming in as well? And what do you think about the recruitment actually this season? Am I right? Am I wrong? Now on Saturday, Sligo Rovers picked up, I would say deserved, 1-0 win against St Patrick's Athletic, despite not playing brilliantly overall, I have to say. At the showgrounds, Jad Hikiki's goal in 19 minutes. He takes it well. It's poor defending by Pats, about 4 or 5 players in the box, ball watching, to be honest with you. Kenny couldn't have been happy with that. Now Kenny wasn't happy with a late goal that was scored by Luke Turner right at the death. He seems to feel it was onside. I'll be honest, what I've seen is inconclusive. I'm not sure. Maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, but the fact is the goal wasn't given. So I think Pats would have robbed it there as well. I don't think they deserved anything for the game. More so for the way Pats playing their own performance rather than what Sligo did, if I'm honest. I've seen Sligo play much better than this, to be fair. I'm sure Sligo Rovers fans would agree with that, but it's a massive 3 points for Sligo Rovers. They're 3 points above Galway. and Waterford in the table. And since June, they're actually third in the table. Shamrock Rovers since June will be top, I believe, in 24 points. Derry City second, 23, and Sligo third and 22 since June. That's massive, massive. The window, I said it before, was brilliant for them. McLean coming in, Stewart. I should be at right back. I'm starting to like as well. I've seen him a number of times as well. Big win for Sligo. The problem with Pats, though, I feel, a couple of things with Pats that I have an issue with here, but the biggest issue is if they go behind in a game, I've no confidence that they're going to come back into the game, especially if a team decides to just be well organised defensively. And that's what Sligo did. They were well organised defensively, tried to catch Pats in the counter-attack. The better chances, even though Pats had a lot of play in the second half, fell to Sligo Rovers, being honest. Joe Redmond does force a decent save from Sam Sargent, but in general. And you just feel that Pats, in those situations, it's a struggle for them to create opportunities. And like I've said it before, like they're relying on whoever the striker is, obviously Keane earlier on in the season, Amelia now, to get the goals, because their attacking players, midfielders, wingers, they don't contribute enough. Simon Parr, 1 goal in the league. Mulroney, 1 goal in the league. Levy, 2 goals in the league. Brandon Kavanagh might have 2. I'm not sure. Max, really. He might even have 1. And I'm missing a player, haven't I? El Bazzetti, he's injured at the moment, but still, he's 2 goals in the league. It's not good enough. And assists-wise, like none of them have hit 5 assists or anything like that. Like, you know what I mean? It's not great. Like Josh Honahan and Connor Keeley, for example, have more goal contributions this season than those Pats players combined. That's not good enough. And it's a massive issue. When they go behind, you feel like if they get a draw, they're doing well here. And that's not good enough. They just, I don't know what it is, a lack of creativity. I've seen a lack of composure in finishing, etc., etc. I need players that can get goals. And it's not all about the strikers. You look at Shamrock Rovers and the amount of players that can score goals for Shamrock Rovers, etc. You've got Michael Duffy who can chip in with goals at Derry City. Do you know what I mean? You need your attackers to chip in with goals, they don't even have to score 7 or 8 of the season, but if they got 15 between the whole lot of them, that kind of way, and they just don't do it. And in those situations, they can be very difficult to watch. And Sligo Rovers just defended, really, and were well organised. And as I said, had the majority of chances in the counter-attack. But if you're a Sligo Rovers fan, let me know what you think. And now, you're probably still nervous with 4 games to go, but you have to be confident with the form they're in, etc., etc., and the way they've been generally playing. You have to be confident you can finish above Galway, United and Waterford. I think they're a better side, if I'm honest with you. Call it spade a spade. I think Galway or Sligo Rovers are a better team than Galway, United and Waterford as well. And as for Pats, if you're a Pats fan, let me know what you think about... it was a big blow for them, wasn't it, as well? Because in the week coming in, the Galway United home in the league, Cork City home, Sligo Rovers away. And they knew the likes of, say, Drogheda and Derry were playing each other, and, there were a number of teams, Drogheda and Shells played each other. So they had to take advantage, and they failed to do so, didn't they? 4 points from the 9. It's not good enough for what they want, where they want to get to, is it? They needed more than that, let's be real here. And it's been very disappointing for Pats, I have to say. So let me know what you think about the comments there if you're a Pats fan, about any of those points, really. Let me know what you think. But massive cup semi-final against Cork City at Turner's Cross next week. It's important to go there and obviously try and win and get back to Aviva. But let me know what you think in the comments. So guys, we're going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. Subscribe and we'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.